Okay, guys, I think the star is here. Please welcome on stage Ingwie Malmsteen! Come on, you can do better than that, please. Yeah.
Hello.
Maybe you want to say a word before we start, mister?
Me?
You.
Yes, hello.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Fine, and you? How are you?
I'm not too bad. I just basically got dropped off here in the van. And the first thing I did was come see you guys. Yay! Yes.
Hi, Ingwie. My name is Jean from Radio Panic Brussels. Welcome to the Hellfest site.
Am I in hell now?
Not really. Well, you are a famous guitar player. After many 40 years activities, but you are producer. You produced a majority of your album, but I remember you co-produced, for example, with Jeff Glicksman on Odyssey. Is it difficult to co-produce to get a good result, or do you prefer to produce your own album?
Yeah, I have a funny story to tell you guys. When I was a very young man, I came to America. I lived in America most of my life, and I spoke very, very good English coming to America, but there were some terms I didn't understand. I didn't get them really. So I'm in the studio, and there was a producer there, and I'm doing a solo, and he goes, "Oh wow, that was really good, man. Yeah, can we do one more, a little slower? You know, remember, less is more." And I looked at him like, "Oh, you mean more is more, right?" And that was an honest reaction, because I didn't know that stupid way of saying things. Because less is not more, more is more. And basically, what a lot of people might not know is that I started playing when I was 5 years old. 7, really. I got my first guitar when I was 5, but I started playing when I was 7. And I was so extreme that I was having bands put together where I wrote the songs, I was a singer and a guitar player as a little kid, like fucking Michael Jackson or something. And I had 20-year-old bass player and 20-year-old drummer, whatever, you know. From day one, I did that. I was always a solo artist, always. And I never had a question about what I wanted. I never had a question about what I wanted to go with things, how I wanted to sound. I knew what it was. I knew what I wanted to play. I know what I want to write. I knew what kind of sound I want. And I'm not knocking producers. I think they've done a lot of good things for a lot of bands. Mutt Lange is amazing. He made great music with the group. You know, great direction, all this stuff. Martin Birch, you know, a lot of people like that. The difference is that I already have this in here. It's already there. So when I have someone else coming in, it doesn't add, it dilutes. Same thing with songwriting. And some people might think that, oh, I'm an egotist, whatever. No. The music is done. It's finished. All I do is to play it and record it. That's all I do. So I've been trying to explain this to so many people, because in rock and roll, that doesn't happen. In rock and roll, even if you're a solo artist like Ozzy Osbourne or whoever, you know, they have songs written for them, they're producers and stuff like this. I don't do that. I do everything. I actually do everything, you know. And it's not because I'm an egotistic person that I don't want anybody else to follow, like, you know, take the credit. No, it's because instead of what you would say a traditional rock and roll Lennon McCartney, Keith Richards, Mick Jagger. I love all of them guys. I think they're fucking great. Instead of what they did, I work more like an author, like let's say Stephen King or Johann Sebastian Bach. You know, Johann Sebastian Bach, Brandenburg Concertos, he would give the sheet music to all the musicians, and the cellist in the first row goes, "Hey, can I play C sharp instead of C?" No, he didn't say that. He played the note that he was told, because that was what is written by him. So basically, I'm like a painter or an author like this. Like a painter, I paint half the painting, and I call my friend and say, "Hey, can you come up and finish my half of my painting?" No, I don't do that. And that's why I don't have producers. That's why I don't have co-writers and so on. Because when I did have that, every single time I came out unhappy. And I wasn't pleased with the result. And I only live once. So what I want to leave behind, what I want to create, what I want to put out on records, what I want to perform on stage is something that is purely my expression. Because I have so much inside. I want pure expression of myself, not diluted by having Elvis Presley in the band, you know? Like most singers think they're Elvis Presley. They're not. They're just another instrument in my orchestra, you know? And so that's, well, it was a long answer. Yeah.
Hello, this is Neil from Total Rock in the UK. Your playing is incredibly dexterous, very fast. As the body gets older, and none of us are getting any younger, does it become harder? Do you have to practice every day? How do you find the aging process and keeping the hands moving so quick?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I don't feel any different. In fact, I feel better now than I did 20 years ago. And it's got a lot to do with your lifestyle and stuff like this, you know. And I feel, I'm sure it's going to happen soon, whatever, when, I don't know. But so far, everything's great.
Hi, Ingwie. This is Eamon from Eon Music in Ireland here.
Ireland, yeah.
Nice to be with you today. You're a massive Richie Blackmore fan. Everyone knows that. I've got a kind of sub questions here for you. But firstly, what's your favourite Blackmore moment? Is it the California Jam? Is it his solo in Burn? Is it the construction of Child in Time? And also, people know that you were approached by Ozzy, you were approached by Kiss. Did Deep Purple ever make any advances to whenever Richie was out of the band for you?
Okay, this got to be a long answer.
Good.
Okay. Take this any way you like. But when I grew up in Sweden, it was a communist hellhole. There was no outlet for any sort of music or art except for what they decided you're going to see. 2 TV channels, completely state-run by the government, right? And state-run radio. So the only way you get music is from somebody like in your school or somebody like that, you know. And I remember when I was a little kid, what I'm trying to say is, when I was 7 years old, I saw Hendrix on TV. I didn't know who he was. I just saw him smashing up the guitar, and I said, fuck, that's cool. And I had a guitar already, so I started playing the guitar. My mother had a lot of records. One of them was John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. I didn't know that was Eric Clapton, but I fucking loved it. I was 7 years old, and I thought it was the coolest thing I ever heard. My oldest siblings, my uncle, my mother, father, everybody classical musicians. Classical music and opera is all up fucking here. So when I hear that bluesy stuff, I loved it, right? Now, I didn't hear Black Sabbath. I didn't hear Led Zeppelin. I didn't hear any fucking thing. But on my 8th birthday, I got Deep Purple Fireball. Which, by the way, everybody should check out. It's the first fucking song ever recorded with double bass drum. First one, not anyone else. That's the first one. That's the first thing I hear when I'm 8 years old. Now, I didn't have anything to compare that to. Oh, I like this better than Led Zeppelin, or I like Led Zeppelin. No, that was the only thing I heard. Nothing else. And the next thing I heard was Made in Japan. So when I was 8 years old, that's all I heard. By the time I was 9 years old, I could play every note on Made in Japan, note for note, everything. I was a little freak, right? Because, like I said before, Sweden was a fucking hellhole with nothing else to do. So, not all I did was play guitar all day long. That's all I fucking did. As a little kid, didn't go to school, nothing. Had straight A's anyway, believe it or not. Yes. So what I'm trying to say with this is that when I was 8, not 18, 8, I loved Richie Blackmore. I didn't even know who he was really, but I heard the guitar and I thought it was really cool, right? But it took me a very short time to realize that this is all pentatonic modes. I don't know what, if we get into musical terms here. It's 5 notes per octave. It's blues, yeah? Which is beautiful. I love B.B. King. I love them all. For me, being a little freak, I realized it's got to be more than this. So somebody played Genesis by Selling England by the Pound by Genesis. And I heard I was 10 years old. 9 years old. And I go, wow, what's this diminished scales and like they do, like this pedal notes and stuff like this. All of a sudden I realized what I loved with this, there wasn't a guitar player, there was the notes and the chord progressions, and I knew my mother had about 1,000 Bach records. So I started listening to Johann Sebastian Bach. I go, oh, that's what I want. But with Marshall stacks and smoke bombs and throwing the guitar up in the air and playing with your teeth, with the the compositional choices, rather, of more a wide variety of scales and modes and so on. So from very, very, very early on, I transitioned from listening to any rock and roll, which was very barren. It wasn't any more stuff. I heard Kiss and I heard Alice Cooper and stuff like that. Because kids seem to like that. And Slade and Status Quo. I remember those bands. I remember them. But I didn't listen to them. So I would have my amps and I would have my guitars loud and distorted and stuff. But I would start to absorb all the classical music. Then Antonio Vivaldi, Tchaikovsky, and eventually Niccolo Paganini. The 24 Capricious. And I said, I'm going to play these fucking crazy violin things on the guitar. I completely stopped listening to Richie Blackmore when I was 10 years old. So let's make that very clear. I love Richie Blackmore, no doubt. But my style of playing is nothing like Richie Blackmore. Richie Blackmore is a blues guitar player and a hell of a one of the greatest of all time. In fact, I want to recommend you a book. It's called Sensitive to Light. I'm reading it right now for fun. It's about Rainbow, the band Rainbow, and they're interviewing Tony Carey, and it's a quote in there. It says, "Yeah, Richie Blackmore, he's fake classical. He's faking classical. Ingwie Malmsteen is real classical. He says that, not me." And I was laughing. I said, "That's very funny." Look, I'm not knocking. I fucking love Richie Blackmore. I love Jimmy Page. I love them all. Everyone. But I did very early on, extremely early on, they deviate from what's called the pentatonic mode, which is the regular guitar playing, which I call a guitar incest. Every guitar player listens to another guitar player. The guitar player they listen to, in turn, listen to another guitar player. And that guitar player listens to another. So like Charlie Christian and fucking Joe Pass and Django Reinhardt and Hank Marvin and Jeff Beck and Richie Blackmore and Gary Moore, whatever. They all listen to guitar players, which is great. I'm not knocking that. However, I based my type of guitar playing on classical violin, not classical guitar. So the Blackmore thing is very old hat for me being so-called Blackmore influenced. It's that you just have to have a good listen to the playing. And what was the second question? Well, oh yeah, no, see, I got a funny story about that too. So I came to America when I was 18 years old, right? I joined a incredible band called Steeler, which was, I don't know what to tell you, man. I was just happy to be out of Sweden, but fucking A, man. This was like, I don't know, kindergarten shit, I mean, it was ridiculous. 2 chords and boom, 2 rock, And anyway, we played up and down the strip. We played all over the fucking people started talking. Said, who's this kid? In fact, I remember, I can tell you a funny story. The first show we ever did was opening up for Hugh Thrall. And it was 30 people there. The next gig we did was like 2 or 3 days later. We played at the Troubadour down the hill there. And I'm at the Troubadour. I'm the second show in America. I'm playing, warming up in the backstage. I'm looking out the window and I see this line of people around the block like this. And I go, fucking A. And some guy working, I was like, who's playing tonight? And the guy pointed at me, you are. So I got all the people in LA talking like this in one fucking week. After all those years in Sweden, banging my head against a fucking concrete wall, getting nowhere, all of a sudden now, in 1 week, there it is. So people started coming. Ronnie used to come to the shows. I became very friendly with him. God bless him. I love him. And Phil Mogg from UFO comes to one of the shows. And he says, come to my house tomorrow when I talk to you. I'm going to kickstart UFO again, you know, because they didn't have, they were at a lull period. I don't know exactly what the deal was, but he wanted me to join UFO. So the next morning I get a phone call. Hey, I'm from Graham Bonnet's camp, and we're putting back a band together with Graham Bonnet. You want to come, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so I had Graham Bonnet and Phil Mogg wanted me in their thing the same day. I'm 19 years old. I go to play with Graham Bonnet, and I look at them and I go, so what songs do you have? Oh, we don't have any songs. What kind of style do you want to do? Oh, we don't have a style. We don't have any. Okay, all right. But you got the gig. You got the gig. It's okay. I'll let you know. So I go over to Phil Mogg's house, and he's fucked up, and I love the guy. But anyway, so I figured, you know, he's a little bit, he doesn't have his shit together. I call up the Graham Bonnet people. They wouldn't call Alcatraz. Nothing was in place. And I said, yeah, I'll do your thing, 2 conditions. I write the songs, and we get a new drummer. Day 1, conditions. And I was just a fucking kid, and he was this big-time guy. So, you know, that's how I've been rolling all my life. So I wrote all the music, and I decided which drummer we're going to have. They want to feel... who was the guy from Iron Maiden? Clive Burr. Yeah, he was a sweetheart. He was a great guy, but he wasn't the right guy. So we got the guy from Alice Cooper, and they said, no, we don't want him. We want Clive Burr. He's famous. I said, yeah, but he doesn't fit into this music. He doesn't have 2 bass drums. You know, so they said, no, we want Clive Burr. I go, okay, good luck. See you. So then, no. So I've always been like that. I've always been very like this. Call it difficult, whatever the fuck. Call it whatever you want. I know what I want. I know what I'm going for, and I don't need somebody to tell me what to do. And I'm still here 40 years later. More. We can talk about that later. Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, last question over here.
Hello, Ingwie. My name is Guillaume from No Name Radio France. Thanks a lot for your music contribution. And I would like to know if one day you are going to release your second concerto for electric guitar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, oh, well, yeah. No, I actually wrote some stuff already in that vein. But it was a really big undertaking. It took me a year to do that, you know, and to take a full year off. But yeah, no, I would love to do that. I really do, you know. It was a dream come true for me.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Ingwie. Come on.
Nice to see you guys. Thank you.